So we are celebrating the National Pharmacovigilance Week, but due to your engagement in some other program, so we have cancelled the quiz for this day and we have postponed it for 30th. You must be knowing the teams and the leaders. So the leader duty is that he has to or she has to ensure that the team members should be there. If anybody is not participating, that leader has to suggest the name of the other person, whoever is willing. And all the adverse effects in the CVS and the blood also, you should come and read when the quiz competition will be there. So adverse effect from anywhere can be asked in the quiz competition. So starting with the thrombolytics and antiplatelet agents. So at the end you should be able to classify these fibrinolytics and antifibrinolytics, describe their mechanism of action, uses and adverse effects, and enumerate their contraindications. And then we'll be having antiplatelet agents. So why this? What fibrinolytics are? They are therapeutic. Now what we have done, anticoagulants and all, they are anticoagulants or antiplatelet agents जब आप पढ़ रहे हो, so they are of preventive and this is therapeutic, that it helps in dissolution of the clot. So already the clot has been formed और आपने इस थेरेपी को देने के बाद क्या किया, इसको डिसोल्यूट किया, इसको ब्रेक डाउन किया. ठीक है, तो ये एट द टाइम ऑफ द ट्रीटमेंट यू कैन यूज दिस थेरेपी, फिब्रिनोलाइटिक्स थेरेपी. ठीक है, फॉर द ब्रेक डाउन ऑफ द क्लॉट. Now what these clot can occur, can cause atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis can lead to this clot formation and it can lead to coronary artery disease, deep vein thrombosis, pulmonary embolism, peripheral arterial disease. So all these occlusive diseases can occur with this. Now understand the pathophysiology of this clot formation, which is very important to understand the mechanism of action. So whenever there is a vessel injury, क्या होता है, कोलेजन एक्सपोजर होता है. ठीक है, सो कोलेजन जब एक्सपोज होगा तो प्लेटलेट वहाँ पे जाके एडहेर करेंगे बाय देयर रिसेप्टर GP1A 1B रिसेप्टर्स एंड विद द हेल्प ऑफ वॉन बिल्डरन फैक्टर ये वहाँ जाके अटैच हो जाएंगे. ठीक है, तो जब प्लेटलेट वहाँ अटैच होगा सो देन इट गेट एक्टिवेटेड एंड इट विल रिलीज दीज एग्रीगेटरी फैक्टर्स. क्या एग्रीगेटरी फैक्टर्स हैं? थ्रोम्बोक्सिन A2, ADP, serotonin, they all are the aggregatory factors. Serotonin का काम क्या है? ये क्या करेगा? Vasoconstriction कराएगा. Vasoconstriction will reduce the blood flow and it will increases the primary hemostatic plug formation. ठीक है, ज़्यादा blood cells will get deposited over there. Now thromboxane A2 और ADP का क्या काम है? और प्लेटलेट्स को एक्टिवेट करना और प्लेटलेट एग्रीगेशन को बढ़ाना. Now simultaneously this collagen exposure will expose the tissue factor and the blood coagulation cascade will get activated. This will activate the thrombin and thrombin in turn will combine and activate the fibrinogen to fibrin, which will combine with this and forms the clot. ठीक है, तो हमारे यहाँ पे हम दो ड्रग देते हैं, that is aspirin और heparin, generally to prevent the clot formation. So aspirin का काम क्या है? It will inhibit the thromboxane A2 synthesis और heparin का क्या काम है? It will inhibit the thrombin. So what does this fibrinolytic therapy do? As you can see this process, so this is how the clot formation occurs. Now this fibrinolytic, they helps in plasminogen to convert into plasmin. ठीक है, plasminogen get converted into plasmin with the help of tissue plasminogen activator. ठीक है, एक टिश्यू प्लाज्मिनोजन एक्टिवेटर होता है जो कि इंडोथीलियम से रिलीज होता है। दिस टिश्यू प्लाज्मिनोजन एक्टिवेटर का काम क्या है? प्लाज्मिनोजन को प्लाज्मिन में कन्वर्ट करना। और ये प्लाज्मिन का काम क्या है? ये इनसॉल्युबल फाइब्रिन फ्रैगमेंट्स, फाइब्रिन को सॉल्युबल फाइब्रिन फ्रैगमेंट्स में कन्वर्ट करता है और ब्रेक डाउन करता है। प्लाज्मिन का काम होता है फाइब्रिन को ब्रेक डाउन करने में। ना ये जो प्लाज्मिन है, दिस गेट कन्वर्टेड बाय टिश्यू प्लाज्मिनोजन एक्टिवेटर, और आपके फिब्रिनोलाइटिक्स दे एक्ट with the same mechanism. They act as a recombinant form of this tissue plasminogen activator. So you have streptokinase, urokinase, LTPase, tenecteplase, these all are the fibrinolytics. ठीक है, जो फिब्रिन को लाइसिस कर रहे हैं उसको हम कहते हैं फिब्रिनोलाइटिक्स मैकेनिज्म बाय कन्वर्टिंग प्लाज्मिनोजन टू प्लाज्मिन। जो एक्स्ट्रा प्लाज्मिन है, that is not bound to the fibrin. Now when it get in the circulation, this get be neutralized by alpha 2 antiplasmin or macroglobulin. प्लाज्मिन कौन किससे न्यूट्रलाइज हो रहा है? यू हैव अल्फा एंटीप्लाज्मिन और मैक्रोग्लोबुलिन। ठीक है, और ये जो टिश्यू प्लाज्मिनोजन एक्टिवेटर है, ये जब सर्कुलेशन में होता है, दैट गेट इनहिबिटेड बाय प्लाज्मिनोजन एक्टिवेटर इनहिबिटर 1 और 2। हमारी एंटी फिब्रिनोलाइटिक ड्रग्स में कौन सी हैं? यू हैव एप्सिलॉन अमीनो कैप्रोइक एसिड एंड ट्रानिज्मिक एसिड। इसमें से कौन सी ज्यादा यूज होती है? ट्रानिज्मिक एसिड, क्योंकि इट इज 7 टाइम्स मोर पोटेंट देन एप्सिलॉन अमीनो कैप्रोइक एसिड। ये कैसे काम करती है? दे एक्ट बाय इनहिबिटिंग टिश्यू प्लाज्मिनोजन एक्टिवेटर्स and thus inhibit plasminogen to convert into plasmin. उसका जस्ट अपोजिट इफेक्ट है, प्लाज्मिनोजन को प्लाज्मिन में कन्वर्ट नहीं होने दे रही। ठीक है, तो फिब्रिनोलाइटिक का क्या मैकेनिज्म है? प्लाज्मिनोजन को प्लाज्मिन में कन्वर्ट करना बाय एक्टिंग एज टिश्यू प्लाज्मिनोजन एक्टिवेटर। ठीक है, सिमिलर मैकेनिज्म, कन्वर्ट द प्लाज्मिनोजन टू प्लाज्मिन। और प्लाज्मिन क्या करेगा? फाइब्रिन को ब्रेक डाउन कर देगा इन सॉल्युबल फाइब्रिन फ्रैगमेंट्स। और उसी के अपोजिट अगर हम बात करें एंटी फिब्रिनोलाइटिक्स, उनका क्या मैकेनिज्म है? उसका मैकेनिज्म है प्लाज्मिनोजन को प्लाज्मिन में कन्वर्ट नहीं होने देना। ठीक है, वो इनहिबिट कर देगा टिश्यू प्लाज्मिनोजन एक्टिवेटर को, प्लाज्मिनोजन से प्लाज्मिन में कन्वर्ट नहीं होने देता है। ठीक है, so this is epsilon amino caproic acid and tranexamic acid, and they are streptokinase, urokinase, LTPase, tenecteplase. So these are all the fibrinolytic drugs. So we have discussed the mechanism, clear mechanism. Now on which thrombi they work better and why? Now next question comes कि कौन से thrombi पे ये ज़्यादा better act करते हैं? जहाँ पे फाइब्रिन डिपोजिशन ज़्यादा होगा, तो वो कौन से थ्रोम्बाई होते हैं जहाँ पे फाइब्रिन डिपोजिशन ज़्यादा होता है? वीनस थ्रोम्बाई एंड रीसेंट थ्रोम्बाई। ठीक है, जितना रीसेंट है, मोर देन 3 आवर्स ओल्ड, या जितना लेट होगा, दैट इट विल बी डिफिकल्ट टू डिसोल्यूट। ठीक है, सो रीसेंट थ्रोम्बाई और द वीनस थ्रोम्बाई दे वर्क बेटर. Now you have the streptokinase, urokinase, LTPase, retiplase, tenecteplase. Now what is the difference between this? ठीक है, इनकी important properties हम देखते हैं. Streptokinase, it is obtained from beta hemolytic streptococci. ठीक है. Now it is allergic. ठीक है, ये ऑटो एंटीबॉडीज प्रोड्यूस कर सकता है क्योंकि बीटा हीमोलिटिक स्ट्रेप्टोकोकाई से ऑब्टेन्ड हुआ है. तो इट मे प्रोड्यूस ऑटो एंटीबॉडीज विच कैन बी एलर्जिक, एंड इफ यू आर गिविंग द सेकेंड टाइम स्ट्रेप्टोकाइनेज इट मे कॉज दिस हाइपर सेंसिटिविटी रिएक्शन. ठीक है, ये ड्रॉबैक है स्ट्रेप्टोकाइनेज की. बट एडवांटेज क्या है स्ट्रेप्टोकाइनेज के साथ? ये चीपेस्ट ड्रग है इन ऑल दिस. चीपेस्ट अवेलेबल ड्रग हम बात करें तो स्ट्रेप्टोकाइनेज है. अब ये क्या करता है? प्लाज्मिनोजन की इट एक्टिवेट द प्लाज्मिनोजन एंड देयर बाय प्लाज्मिनोजन एक्ट्स activator for other plasminogen and converts the plasminogen to plasmin. Even it is bound to fibrin or not bound to fibrin. ठीक है, ये नॉन स्पेसिफिक कन्वर्जन ऑफ प्लाज्मिनोजन टू प्लाज्मिन करता है. टिश्यू प्लाज्मिनोजन एक्टिवेटर का क्या काम होता है? ये जो बाउंड फॉर्म ऑफ प्लाज्मिनोजन है, जो प्लाज्मिनोजन फाइब्रिन से बाउंड है, उसी को प्लाज्मिन में कन्वर्ट करता है. तो जो रिकॉम्बिनेंट फॉर्म है टिश्यू प्लाज्मिनोजन एक्टिवेटर का, वो क्या करते हैं? दे बिकम मोर स्पेसिफिक इन कन्वर्टिंग द प्लाज्मिनोजन टू प्लाज्मिन which is bound to fibrin. ये even in the circulation it may cause plasminogen to convert into plasmin. ऐसे तो plasmin neutralize हो जाएगा by alpha 2 antiplasmin and other, but sometimes the plasmin will increase so much that it gets saturated. और वो क्या करेगा? जब increase plasmin होगा तो it may cause bleeding. ठीक है, जब प्लाज्मिन सर्कुलेशन में बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगा तो इट में डिसॉल्व द हीमोस्टैटिक प्लग, जो आपकी हेल्प करते हैं ब्लीडिंग रोकने में, उसमें भी वो काम करेगा. और क्या होगा उसका साइड इफेक्ट? ब्लीडिंग विल बी द साइड इफेक्ट. मोर प्लाज्मिन इन द सर्कुलेशन मीन्स देयर विल बी ब्लीडिंग. यूरोकाइनेज इज ऑब्टेन्ड फ्रॉम द यूरिन किडनी. फ्रॉम द यूरिन देयर इज दिस urokinase is obtained, but it is difficult to produce this urokinase, and that's why more commonly now alteplase, ratiplase or tenecteplase is used. They are the recombinant form of tissue plasminogen activator. जो ये alteplase है, ratiplase है और tenecteplase है, they are the recombinant form of tissue plasminogen activator. अब इन तीनों में क्या डिफरेंस है? इनमें ये डिफरेंस है कि alteplase is given by infusion. It is very short acting, while ratiplase or tenecteplase is a more longer acting. So ratiplase के comparison में भी tenecteplase is to be given a single bolus dose. जब हम single bolus dose और convenient regime की बात करते हैं तो हमारे पास आती है drug tenecteplase. तो more commonly now tenecteplase is used because of the single bolus regime can be given. Double bolus regime is given in ratiplase in 30 minutes interval, while tenecteplase is given with single bolus dose. And more you have to give in heparin or aspirin, that other you have to give to prevent the recurrent thrombi formation with alteplase as compared to the longer acting. ठीक है. Otherwise also when you are dissoluting the crock, you give a prophylaxis of these agents like aspirin or heparin with these fibrinolytics to prevent the recurrent thrombi, but it is more needed if you are giving alteplase. Now what are the uses? कहाँ use होते हैं? In acute MI within 12 hours of onset. Fibrinolytics most convenient. कहीं भी जहाँ फैसिलिटी नहीं है परक्यूटेनियस इंटरवेंशन की, वहाँ आप फिब्रिनोलाइटिक्स यूज कर सकते हो, बट आइडियली कब यूज करनी चाहिए? लेस देन 3 आवर्स. उससे ज़्यादा अगर है तो 12 आवर्स के बाद तो इट्स ऑब्सोलीट. ठीक है, उसका यूज नहीं है फिब्रिनोलाइटिक्स का. डीप वेन थ्रोम्बोसिस कैन बी यूज, पल्मोनरी एम्बोलिज्म, peripheral arterial thromboembolism where the other options like surgical or other measures cannot be taken, then peripheral artery thromboembolism you can give the localized this fibrinolytic therapy. For unclotting of the catheter and shunts and acute thrombotic stroke within 3 hours, this is also you have to be given very carefully, because this fibrinolytic therapy can also lead to hemorrhagic stroke. ठीक है, so you have to rule out various factors and then you have to choose a patient in which you can give this therapy, especially in acute thrombotic stroke. It has to be diagnosed as acute thrombotic stroke and it be within 3 hours. क्या क्या uses हो गए fibrinolytic therapy के? MI, deep vein thrombosis, pulmonary embolism, peripheral artery thromboembolism, for unclotting of catheter and shunts, and acute thrombotic stroke within 3 hours. Now what is the role of aspirin and heparin? हमने अभी डिस्कस किया. आफ्टर thrombolytic therapy क्या रोल है? To prevent the recurrent thrombi. What is facilitated percutaneous intervention? एक और चीज है that is facilitated percutaneous intervention. इसमें low dose of fibrinolytic therapy is followed by percutaneous intervention. ठीक है, this is known as facilitated percutaneous intervention. Complications: hemorrhagic stroke, bleeding. That is the main complication when we talk about the fibrinolytic therapy. इसमें contraindications भी पूछे जाएंगे because this is very important. You have to rule out all these contraindications before giving this fibrinolytic therapy. क्या contraindication है? कोई history है intracranial hemorrhage की, ischemic stroke in past 3 months, because he will be on these therapy, antiplatelet, anticoagulants and all this therapy. You have to be careful. History of head injury in the past 3 months, intracranial tumor or vascular abnormality, aneurysms, active bleeding or any bleeding disorder, peptic ulcer or esophageal varices, any wound or recent fracture or tooth extraction, major surgery or uncontrolled hypertension or even pregnancy, they are contraindicated. So wherever the risk of bleeding increases, they are contraindicated, and these are all the risks where the bleeding tendency is more. Now coming to antifibrinolytic drugs, you have कौन सी ड्रग है हमारे पास? एप्सिलॉन अमीनो कैप्रोइक एसिड एंड ट्रांसमिक एसिड. Now ये क्या करते हैं? They bind with the plasminogen and they inhibit the plasminogen to convert to plasmin. Tranexamic acid is used because it is 7 times more potent than epsilon amino caproic acid. Now this is used where it is used, these antifibrinolytic drugs, to counter the fibrinolytic drugs. ठीक है, साइड इफेक्ट्स ऑफ फिब्रिनोलाइटिक, अगर ब्लीडिंग हो रही है फिब्रिनोलाइटिक ड्रग्स से, so you can give antifibrinolytics to counter that. Cardiopulmonary bypass surgery, in tonsillectomy, prosthetic surgery or tooth extraction in hemophilics. ठीक है, hemophilia, there again there is increase in bleeding in this surgery, so you have to give prophylactically these antifibrinolytic drugs. Menorrhagia, especially with intrauterine contraceptive devices, recurrent epistaxis, hyphemia due to ocular trauma or peptic ulcer. So these are all the uses where antifibrinolytic therapy is used. Now what is the side effect of antifibrinolytic? Clot formation, so thromboembolism. Thromboembolic events are the adverse effect, and when we talk about epsilon amino caproic acid, if you are giving rapid IV, there are more chances of going to hypotension, bradycardia or arrhythmia if you are giving the rapid IV infusion of epsilon amino caproic acid. और essential drugs में भी अब आपके tranexamic acid आता है when we talk about this, और tenecteplase आता है जब हम fibrinolytics की बात करते हैं. तो ये हो गया fibrinolytics और antifibrinolytics, उसके uses, contraindications, side effects, important mechanism. Coming to antiplatelet agents, so you have this they decrease the platelet aggregation and inhibit the thrombus formation, so they are used as, compared to fibrinolytics, they are used as prophylaxis for thromboembolic events. So just to again revise this elaborately, what is the mechanism? Collagen exposure, von Willebrand factor, 1A, 1B, this is the platelet structure. Now what happens? This get activated, they release this aggregators, and in turn these aggregators, what they do is they will activate the platelet, and which will get this 2B3A activation. ठीक है, 2B3A जब क्या किससे बाइंड करता है? फाइब्रिनोजन से. 2B3A will get to bind to the fibrinogen and then this platelet plug is formed. ये जो thrombin है, thrombin converts fibrinogen to this fibrin and this formation occurs. So what all the drugs you have? यही mechanism पे add करते हुए you have thromboxane A2 synthesis inhibitor. उसमें कौन सी है? Aspirin. Aspirin as a thromboxane A2 synthesis inhibitor. Phosphodiesterase 3 inhibitors you have dipyridamole, and one more drug which have come up is salestazole. Phosphodiesterase 3 inhibitor. Then P2Y12 which is the receptor for ADP. ADP का receptor कौन सा है? P2Y12. These blockers are ticlopidine, clopidogrel, prasugrel. Now there are newer drugs which are cangrelor and ticagrelor. ठीक है, अब ये newer drugs आ गई हैं in ADP receptor blockers. ADP का receptor क्या है? P2Y12. GP2B3A antagonist, you have abiximab, aptifibutide and tirofibab. Now there is again a recent drug which has come up, that is thrombin receptor inhibitor, that is protease activated receptor 1 inhibitor, vorapaxar. PRAX. PR, there is XAR. So with that you can understand PR means protease activated, PAR means protease activated receptor 1 or 2 inhibitor, and XA is for thrombin. ठीक है, so जहाँ पे ये आपका लास्ट का है, these are all the thrombin receptor inhibitor. In सबका drug का we'll see the mechanism and what are the important questions which are asked as an antiplatelet agents, then we'll discuss. So you have this endothelium. Endothelium has nucleus. ठीक है, endothelium is having nucleus. Now it is releasing prostacyclines. Prostacycline का क्या mechanism है? Prostacycline will convert this and increase this CAMP. So CAMP क्या कर रहा है? It has inhibiting the platelet aggregation. Prostacycline is inhibiting the platelet aggregation. Now यहाँ पे when there is exposure of the collagen, now what happens is arachidonic acid will get breakdown with this COX enzyme and it will release thromboxane A2. Platelet does not have any nucleus. Thromboxane synthase, this will converts into thromboxane A2. Thromboxane A2 is released and this in turn, now you can see this thromboxane A2 receptor is present over the platelet. It will release ADP. ADP receptors are present, that is P2Y12 receptor and GP2B3A receptor which will bound to the fibrinogen. ठीक है, so यहाँ पे this will activate the other platelets and then this platelet aggregation occurs. So aspirin क्या कर रही है? It is irreversibly inhibiting the COX enzyme and irreversibly binds to this COX enzyme and inhibit the thromboxane A2 production. So once it bounds and inhibits the thromboxane A2 production, platelets cannot release another thromboxane till the new platelet come up. Now the life lifespan of platelet is 5 to 7 days. So till 5 to 7 days, this thromboxane A2 production will be inhibited. ठीक है, prostacyclin will continuously be released by endothelium because endothelium is having nucleus. ठीक है, तो पहले जब आपका COX enzyme inhibit हुआ तो COX enzyme is releasing prostacyclins also and it is also releasing thromboxane A2. ठीक है, so it is inhibiting the prostacyclin and thromboxane A2, but endothelium is having the nucleus and platelet is more get exposed before this endothelium is exposed to aspirin in a low dose. So that's why the low dose of aspirin is having the antiplatelet action compared to the high dose. High dose में क्या होगा? Endothelium will also be inhibited. In the portal circulation itself, all the platelets will get exposed to aspirin in a low dose, and these platelets, as they cannot synthesize a newer enzyme, so their effect, aspirin effects, will remain there for 5 to 7 days. तो कोई भी सर्जरी या कुछ भी आप करना चाह रहे हो, so you have to stop the aspirin 5 to 7 days before doing planning any surgery. Dipyridamole का क्या काम है? It is a phosphodiesterase inhibitor. और CAMP क्या कर रहा है? It inhibits the CAMP degradation. ठीक है, it inhibits the CAMP degradation. CAMP क्या कर रहा है? It is inhibiting, it is increasing the release of ADP और serotonin. ठीक है, ADP और serotonin रिलीज हो रही हैं CAMP से, and CAMP degradation is inhibited by inhibiting the phosphodiesterase 3. और डायपिरिडामोल कहाँ यूज होता है? कहीं और यूज हुआ CVS में डायपिरिडामोल? By increasing the CAMP, it also has a vasodilatory action. Angina में, but why it is not, should not be used? Coronary steal phenomena. Coronary steal phenomena. वो क्या होता है coronary steal phenomena? Nitrates क्या करते हैं compared to dipyridamole? क्या करते हैं nitrates? हम प्रेफर करते हैं nitrates. वो भी vasodilation कर रहे हैं, ये भी vasodilation कर रहा है, पर क्या हो रहा है? दोनों में फर्क क्या है? Large arteries का vasodilation is there with this dipyridamole compared to these nitrates where, तो क्या करेगा वो? वहां से ब्लड, इस्कीमिक एरिया से ब्लड लार्ज आर्टरीज में फेंकेगा और उससे क्या होगा? और इस्कीमिया बढ़ जाएगा. ठीक है, वेल नाइट्रेट्स क्या कर रहे हैं? स्मॉल आर्टरीज, वहां पे ब्लड, इस्कीमिक एरिया में ब्लड सर्कुलेशन बढ़ जाता है. नाइट्रेट्स अब देंगे तो बिकॉज वो शिफ्ट करेगा लार्ज आर्टरीज से स्मॉल आर्टरीज, स्मॉल एंडोथेलियल आर्टरीज में, और उससे ब्लड सर्कुलेशन इस्कीमिक एरिया में बढ़ जाएगा. सो कोरोनरी स्टील फिनोमिना इज सीन विद डायपिरिडामोल, सो इट इज नॉट गिवन इन द म्योकार्डियल इंफार्क्शन. So these are the important questions we have. Aspirin as antiplatelet dose, again and again this is our 70 to 150 milligram. This is the low dose of aspirin we use for antiplatelet action. Now why low dose and not other NSAIDs? Common question always asked, why low dose? Who will going to answer? क्यों low dose में हम देते हैं? So you have to answer, because at high dose it may also inhibit the prostacyclin synthesis, which is anti-aggregatory to platelets. Okay, so that's why low dose of aspirin is used and not other NSAID, because other NSAID does not irreversibly inhibit the COX enzyme. So they does not have the, अगर irreversible inhibit नहीं होगा तो प्लेटलेट वापस से thromboxane A2 सिंथेसाइज करना स्टार्ट कर देगा. ये irreversibly inhibit कर रहा है, that's why it is inhibited. Thromboxane A2 synthesis is inhibited. Prolongation of bleeding time lasts for 5 to 7 days. क्यों? क्योंकि प्लेटलेट का जब तक नई नई सिंथेसाइज हो जाएगी, सो देन इसका जो है मैकेनिज्म क्लॉट फॉर्मेशन विल नॉट कम और एग्रीगेशन विल नॉट अकर. इफ ibuprofen इज टेकन विद इन 2 hours प्रायर टू एस्पिरिन, क्या होगा? इट विल डिक्रीज द एक्शन ऑफ एस्पिरिन. ठीक है, कोई और आपने पेन किलर दिया एस्पिरिन देने से पहले, इट विल डिक्रीज द एक्शन ऑफ एस्पिरिन. Dipyridamol potentiates the prostacyclin action. ठीक है, रिमेंबर इट ऑल्सो पोटेंशिएट द प्रोस्टासाइक्लिन एक्शन, डायपिरिडामोल. और रोल क्या है, कहाँ हम देते हैं डायपिरिडामोल को? वी जनरली यूज दिस ड्रग एज एन एडजुवेंट ड्रग इन प्रोस्थेटिक हार्ट वेल्व विथ वाफरिन. ठीक है, कहाँ पे हम देते हैं? प्रोस्थेटिक हार्ट वेल्व कंडीशन, जहाँ पे क्लॉट फॉर्मेशन की टेंडेंसी ज्यादा होती है, वहां पे हम दिस डायपिरिडामोल इज ऑल्सो यूज विथ वाफरिन. ये उसका रोल है. मेनली डायपिरिडामोल इज यूज इन प्रोस्थेटिक हार्ट वेल्व कंडीशन विथ वाफरिन. Patient with unstable angina should not use dipyridamol because coronary steal phenomena is there, so should not be used. In stroke, transient ischemia prevention with aspirin and with warfarin, peripheral prosthetic heart valves with warfarin, they can be used, this dipyridamol. Already I have told you the role. They are used in prosthetic heart valve with warfarin, and also one more use is being here written, that is transient ischemic attack with aspirin. For prevention of transient ischemic attack you can use dipyridamol. ठीक है, तो ये दो मेन यूजेस हैं इसके. So you have the ticlopidine, clopidogrel, prasugrel, ticagrelor and cangrelor. ये कौन से हैं? P2Y12 रिसेप्टर इनहिबिटर. इनमें क्या डिफरेंस है? Now when we talk about ticlopidine, clopidogrel और prasugrel, ये क्या होते हैं? They are prodrugs. They convert into an active form and they irreversibly inhibit this P2Y12 ADP receptor, which causes the activation of the platelets and platelet aggregation. ठीक है, तो ticagrelor और cangrelor में क्या डिफरेंस है? They are not the prodrugs. They can be directly inhibit this, but they does not irreversibly inhibit the P2Y12 receptor. Cangrelor is given IV compared to ticagrelor, which is given orally. ठीक है, तो ये मेन डिफरेंस है इन ड्रग्स में. More predictable this cangrelor and ticagrelor action will be there. Well, ticlopidine, clopidogrel and prasugrel. Prasugrel is generally used wherever you need a faster action. More faster action you need, prasugrel can be used, but its action may remain there for longer time and more bleeding tendency will be there with this clopidogrel or prasugrel if you are using, compared to this ticagrelor or cangrelor. क्यों? क्योंकि they are reversible. टिक्लोपिडीन क्यों ज़्यादा यूज नहीं होती है? We use clopidogrel more often than ticlopidine because it has severe hematological reactions. ठीक है, thrombocytopenia and all will be more with ticlopidine. ठीक है, severe hematological reaction are there with ticlopidine, so it is generally not used. We prefer clopidogrel. Then there is dual antiplatelet therapy. ठीक है, dual antiplatelet therapy कहाँ यूज होगी? In acute coronary syndromes. वहाँ पे you can give clopidogrel with aspirin in unstable angina, in ST elevated MI. So there all you can use to prevent the recurrent thrombi. With PCI, you can use prasugrel with aspirin, with prasugrel or clopidogrel with aspirin. So dual antiplatelet therapy has to be given. Now ticagrelor effectiveness, remember that it decreases when it is used with aspirin in doses above 100 milligrams. So अगर आप high doses of aspirin के साथ अगर आप ticagrelor use करते हो तो ticagrelor की effectiveness is seen to be decreased compared to the lower dose of aspirin, lower than 100 milligram. This is seen in the studies that ticagrelor जब आप 100 milligram या above दे रहे हो, so its effectiveness will decrease. So this is our the difference: clopidogrel, prasugrel, and ticagrelor. Both are prodrugs except ticagrelor or cangrelor. Now P2Y12 receptor inhibition is irreversible. Here it is reversible. Absorption, metabolism. Now another drug interaction is asked with this. So they are inhibitor for clopidogrel Clopidogrel is metabolized by cytochrome 2C19 into an active form. तो अगर आप clopidogrel के साथ omeprazole देते हो, omeprazole will inhibit the action of clopidogrel. ठीक है, ये important drug interaction है जो इसके साथ पूछी जाएगी. अगर omeprazole आपने clopidogrel के साथ दिया तो क्या होगा? Won't be effective because it will not convert into an active form, because this is inhibitor of cytochrome 2C19 omeprazole. अगर prasugrel और ticagrelor दे रहे हो तो वो they may be effective. ठीक है, they'll be effective because they get metabolized by cytochrome 3A4 or 2B6 and cytochrome 3A4, and omeprazole and all, they are inhibiting cytochrome 2C19. So available as 75 milligram dose, 75 to 150 milligram dose में clopidogrel दिया जाता है, and they are available as 10 milligram or 90 milligram twice a day ticagrelor. Now what are these GP2B3A receptor inhibitors? कौन से हैं? Abiximab, aptifebatide and tirofiban. ये क्या करते हैं? They go and bind to the 2B3A, now which will bind to the fibrinogen, so they will ultimately bind to this receptor, and they are highly effective and most prone to cause bleeding, so you have to use them very carefully when you are using this. Abiximab is a monoclonal antibodies, and aptifebatide and tirofiban are genetically engineered peptides which can go and bind to this 2B3 and block this to bind to the fibrinogen. Now abiximab के साथ क्या caution है? Abiximab can cause thrombocytopenia. And where they are be used? Especially they can be used in case of myocardial infarction with percutaneous intervention. You can use these drugs to prevent. For a short-term purpose, usually these drugs are used. ठीक है, not for long term. When you want to give a long term prophylactic therapy, you will prefer a more safer like aspirin, or either you will use clopidogrel. Salestazole, it is basically used in intermittent claudication. ठीक है, when there is a condition of peripheral vascular disease, that is intermittent claudication, in this salestazole is used. What is the mechanism? Phosphodiesterase inhibitor and increasing the CMP, causing vasodilation. It is contraindicated in heart failure. ठीक है, वहाँ नहीं यूज होती है. Now these antiplatelet agents are more effective in arterial thrombosis. So remember this, they are more prone because more platelet rich thrombi are there in the arterial thrombi. So arterial thrombi में ज़्यादा effective हैं when we talk of antiplatelet agent or fibrinolytics. They are more effective in venous thrombi. ठीक है, these are the important questions which are being asked in this. Use as a prophylactic treatment in wherever there is a risk of coronary artery disease, you can use this as a prophylactic therapy, preferably aspirin, low dose of aspirin or clopidogrel. Acute coronary syndromes, especially these unstable angina, stimulated myocardial infarction and all, you have to use for a period of time dual antiplatelet therapy, and then as a prophylactically you can start with a single therapy. Cerebrovascular disease as a preventive therapy, prosthetic heart valves and arteriovenous shunts, venous thromboembolism and peripheral vascular disease again as a prophylactic therapy. So wherever this thromboembolism tendency is there, you can use them as a prophylactic therapy. And dipyridamol with warfarin or dipyridamol with aspirin is used basically in prosthetic heart valves or transient ischemic attacks, to prevent transient ischemic attacks. So what could be the toxicity of these antiplatelet agents? Again, toxicity क्या होगी? Bleeding. So why you are blank? Bleeding will be the most important toxicity with these antiplatelet agents also. So just to summarize, you have these mechanisms with this. ये aspirin क्या कर रही है? COX inhibition, thromboxane A2 production. Now what this abiximab, aptifebatide and tirofiban? Inhibiting GP2B3A receptors. Clopidogrel and ticlopidine, irreversibly inhibiting P2Y12 ADP receptor. This is dipyridamol and salestazol, which is inhibiting phosphodiesterase. So CMP will increase, and CMP क्या कर रहा है? These aggregators will be released from the platelets. Now another thing is dipyridamol and salestazol, it also inhibits this adenosine. इसीलिए ड्रग इंट्रैक्शन आता है डायपिरिडामोल का थियोफाइलिन के साथ. So there could be a drug interaction with these asthmatic drugs like theophylline and all, because they also have an action with an increasing the adenosine, and this is affect the action of dipyridamol. So this inhibits the adenosine action. Adenosine का क्या action है? Constriction. So these are the important drug interaction, uses, contraindication with the antiplatelet agents and fibrinolytics. So dipyridamol की बात करेंगे, theophylline and all these drugs will come. And when we talk about the another drug which is important drug interaction जो कौन सी बताइए, that you don't have to forget with this. Clopidogrel with proton pump inhibitor, that is omeprazole.